Who is the most toxic guy on the zodiac? Okay, I don't mean the meanest. I don't mean the sneakiest. I don't mean the most evil or the most dangerous. I mean toxic. And because it is so quiet and so clear and so easy that you have to know. And it is Capricorn.
How could she have come to this conclusion? Let's talk about it! Capricorn is the sign of the father, the sign of paternal energy, the sign of our job, our career, basic common sense logic, basic fundamental logic, social economic status, social economic security, our legacy, and our reputation. Open up your birth chart and look to see what house you have Capricorn sitting in. One of the most common traits I see in Capricorns, along with Virgo and Taurus, is that they can oversimplify pain. Yeah, I fell off a cliff and broke all of my ribs. I'll be fine. Yeah, I stepped on a crack and broke my mother's back. She'll be fine. I mean, yeah, I burned down your house. You'll be fine. Not to mention, Capricorn has the smallest spectrum of logic out of all the earth signs. I'm not saying they're dumb. I'm not saying they lack logic. It's just that Taurus represents more consistent, more fixed logic. Virgo represents more mutable logic. Capricorn is about basic common sense logic. Their logic can be quickly compartmentalized, quickly simplified, put in a box, placed on a shelf. Very simple step-by-step way of thinking. However, Capricorn is a cardinal sign. Cardinal signs have a difficult time understanding things that they've never experienced. So Capricorn's basic common sense logic is strictly based on their experiences. But also Capricorn's logic is spontaneous. You never really know what standards of logic they're following in those moments in time. And like I've said in other videos, cardinal signs are all indecisive. Capricorn, Libra, Cancer, Aries, they're all indecisive. And one of the ways Capricorn is indecisive is that, let's say you give them a math problem, and let's say the answer is 4. What's the best equation to get 4? Not what's the right equation, what's the best equation? There's so many equations in the math world that equal 4. You have to pick out what's the best one. For some Capricorns, it may be 2 plus 2 equals 4. For other Capricorns, it may be 48 divided by 12 equals 4. And let's say that math equation is a representation of how they treat your feelings. 2 plus 2 equals 4 is pretty easy, right? Pretty easy. 48 divided by 12, okay, it's a little bit more difficult, but we got there. But then for other Capricorns, it may be the square root of pi to the 5th power multiplied by 62 divided by 8 multiplied by 3 billion. And then it's like, whoa. And to you, this is way too complicated. Like, why are we treating our interaction this way? This is a lot to deal with. But to them, they're like, you're overreacting. What are you tripping about? Like, this is common sense. Shouldn't you understand this? But once again, common sense isn't always that common, and people have different levels of what they consider to be common sense. And mind you, Capricorn is ruled by Saturn. Saturn is the planet of discipline and restriction. So being in a dynamic that's full of restrictions and complications and disciplines and all these things that hold you back and make things difficult, to them, that could be the norm. To them, they may not even see it as them being toxic. They just see it as life. And mind you, I've watched Capricorns be on the receiving end of toxic behavior. But again, to them, that's just life. And they usually don't realize that it's wrong until something completely falls apart and blows up in their face. But even in those cases, they may see that as, oh, that's just life. Once again, any zodiac sign is capable of being toxic, which always brings me to the question of, how did your dad treat you? Like, how did your boss treat you? Like, how did your parents as a whole treat you? How did your paternal figures treat you? Anyways, if you want to learn more about your zodiac sign and you want to learn more about astrology as a whole, sign up for a reading, link in my bio.